out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
Up in your soul together. This man will make your liver quiver.
What's good? You into Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man Kel. I got my squad with me. In effect, as always, I got my bro Tone from End of the Dome. What's going on, fam?
What's good, fellas?
All right, no doubt. I got my man Easy. I always talk about this nigga. He's a dope singer and a dope MC. You know what I mean? You don't find too many people who could do both and do it dope too. So Easy is definitely one of them. What's going on, fam?
Peace, man. You know, Kill always gas me up when I'm here, but he barely invite me though.
Yeah, this nigga, man. I swear, man, it's really like an apartment. I tell this nigga anytime you free, come through. You know what I mean? It's always open.
Always good to come here and chop it up, talk hip hop with good people. You know what I mean?
No doubt. I got my brother Vague out of BK. What's going on, Vague?
Yo, what up, man? I'm in the Matrix and shit. They done stole my. I'm just playing. I'm driving. Pick my wife up.
Oh, it's all good, bro. It's all good. You know, niggas gonna think you like Porsche. You want strike now too, because I ain't paying good now. Y'all already know what it is, man. Let's jump right into it. If you rock with Apartment 5B, then you know about our salute shows. Every now and then we want to give flowers to the people who have given us dope music, who have preserved this culture, who have just been dope. Tonight's show, we are chopping up about who I think is one of the dopest producers ever. Yes, I said ever, and that's Alchemist. One of my favorite Evidence rhymes says I write the Alchemist because others don't inspire me. You know what I mean? And it's like, to me, Al is just one of them boys who's been holding it down. I mean, we going back to 1999 with Mobb Deep's The Realest with Cool G Rap. If you don't like that joint, you must be the feds. I don't trust you. You ain't invited to the barbecue. So this man has been putting in beats from 1999 to 2024. You know what I mean? And to me, it's just one of the still most sought after producers in the game. So we gonna be chopping up about everything the first time we heard Al, top 5 favorite beats, slept on beats. If somebody never heard of Al, what will be the 5 projects we'll point them in the direction of? Does Al make your top 10 GOAT list? Post 2000. And then we just gonna kind of chop it up and just show him love and everything like that. And then we're going to talk about who's the best whoever did it on the Alchemist track. Who does Alchemist just vibe with and they just come up with the perfect music together. So, I'm going to say it off. The first time I heard Alchemist was the Mobb Deep joint, Murder Music, with The Realest, with G.O.A.T. You know what I mean? And at the time, I was kind of shocked because up until that point, Have had been kind of holding down Mobb Deep. Outside, of course, the infamous with Tip on there. But, by the time we got to the third album, it was all Have doing it. So, when I first heard the beat, I was like, yo, this joint's crazy. G-Rap kills it, not knowing Alchemist did it. So that just said a lot to me right there, because for Havoc to already be a well-known producer in the game, this is his group. This is Mobb Deep. This is his bread and butter. His 50% isn't just rapping, but it's doing the beat. So invite somebody else in to do it. I was like, damn, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of bug right there. Tone, what about you, man? When was the first time you heard that?
Actually, man, he had done some joints with dilated people, but he rocked with this dude named Defari. You know what I'm saying?
Defari, yep.
Defari had this album, Focus Daily. You know what I'm saying? And Alchemist did the title track, Focus Daily, and he also did like 3 other joints on it, man. Defari actually pretty dope MC, man. Slept on back in his time, man. I think from the West Coast, like Al, and never really blew, but he had some love over there, you know what I'm saying? But that was the first time I heard some of his beats. I thought it was pretty good, but of course, when you hear The Realest, I'm thinking that's Havoc, and I'm like, who the hell made this beat? And they're like, nah, that ain't Havoc, that's dude Alchemist. So, okay, I know you talk about now, yeah, dude is nice, but I didn't know he was that grimy, because his beats with Defari and Dollar the People wasn't grimy like the Realest was, you know what I'm saying? But that just kind of showed he had a lot of versatility, man. And we'll get into all that, of course. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was my first time him rocking with Dilated People and Defari.
All right, no doubt.
Like 97.
97. All right. Ease, what about you?
Yeah, the first time I remember hearing Alchemist, because you know how guys like us do. You know, we busted open that CD, we read the credits. My first time was the Defari album as well.
Oh yeah.
It was focused. He actually had I think it was 3 joints when he did the title track, like Tone mentioned. He did Killing Spree, and I believe there's a song called Check Stand that Alchemist.
No, that's it. Those are the ones.
Yeah. So you know, that was the first time I heard Al. Those are the back when he was a baby Premier.
Right.
It's the far right. The far right.
Yeah, with alcoholics in them, like that whole alcoholic.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Liquid too.
Yeah. Light skinned dude.
Yep. West Coast. Yep.
And it's funny you call him Baby Premier because that's a lot of his joints started out very Premierish. You know what I mean? And it's what we all do. If we went back to my 95 disc, everything sounded primo. Every beat sounded like that. Vague, what's up with you, good brother? When's the first time you heard Alchemist?
First time I heard him was the same as you, man. Murder Music, The Realist. I was convinced that Havoc did the beat. You know, I was just thinking, Havoc did the joint. So I'm listening. You know, back then you buy the CD, I checked the credits, and I was like, Alchemist, like, what is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I was surprised and I was more intrigued about, learning more about who he was because I thought the beat was ill. But yeah, that was probably my very first time, like my experience with him and his production. Right,
no doubt. All right, now let's get into this. Top 5 Alchemist beats. And again, these are, for me, they're my favorites. I didn't even do it like as far as what other people would rank, but these are just my top 5 favorite joints. Number, in no order, I got Worst Come to Worst, Dilated Peoples. You know what I mean? That was their first single off their second album, Expansion Team, which is a very dope album, very slept on album. I never hear anybody talk about it. You talking about Premier, The Beat Nuts, Alchemist, Joey Chavez, Ev did some, Babu did some, very dope slept on album. So Worst Come to Worst, which I thought was crazy. The second joint was Hold You Down off of First Infantry, his first solo album. Loved that joint. In fact, it's funny, the record is literally like the sample was literally right here. You know what I mean? The Al Cooper, the Landlord joint. Just Blaze used this on the Dynasty album. For I think Soon You'll Understand. And just a great example of how 2 producers can use the same sample and they use them 2 totally different ways. So Hold You Down to me was crazy. I mean, We Gonna Make It. Kissing Styles. I mean, that joint, I mean, I've seen the Just Blaze Alchemist little beat battles, and I mean, when you throw on We Gonna Make It, the whole crowd loses they shit. You know what I mean? And what I love about that beat too is a lot of people may not know that Razzcast had that beat at the same time.
Yeah, he did.
And the funny part is I always tell people this is an example of how I think Razzcast joint was okay. It was cool. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the beat is so crazy. Raz is Razzcast. You know, he's an elite MC. So, you know what I mean? It's gonna be crazy, but like Styles and Jada made an anthem. We Gonna Make It as an anthem. Like, Razzcast made a good song. But to be honest, I heard the song maybe once or twice. Never wanted to go back to it again. I will never get tired of hearing We Gonna Make It. My bathtub lift up, my walls do a 360. I mean, it's too many quotables in there. Dead rappers get better promotion. I mean,
Razzcast was pissed off too.
I mean, Razzcast was pissed off, and again, I was
trying to avoid that, but that's.
He made a diss song at Alchemist.
But here's the thing, and again, I don't know the details of how it went down. I do know as a producer who sends beats out to people, I don't know if Razzcast paid for the beat all the way out and purchased the beat. If he purchased the beat and the beat was now Razzcast or whatever label he's on, and then if Al sells it to Jada and Styles, that's fucked up. I don't know if that's how it went down. A lot of times I send out beats. I've had MCs sit on beats for years, and then I never hear nothing from them, like if they wanted it or not. So I sell it to somebody else, and then they feel some kind of way. That's not my fault, my nigga. If I sent you a beat in 2020 and you just sat on it for 4 years, and now you hear Bang on it. Don't get mad at me, like, you know what I mean? So it's so many different ways. So I never knew how it went down, but it's just a testament of how two dope MCs, because Jada's dope, Razzcast is dope. One made an anthem, one just made a good song that I'm sure most of us probably haven't listened to in the past 15 years. And that's no diss to Raz. What happened?
It was just forgettable.
It wasn't nothing there.
It's like Raz is Raz, but it's a forgettable record. I mean, that's all.
Right. And We Gonna Make It is not a forgettable record. Here's a joint that a lot of people probably never heard. Marathon, Dilated Peoples. It's off their album, Neighborhood Watch. It sets it off. That beat is just crazy to me. And then my number 5 joint is Desire by Pharoah Monch. When I heard that joint, it was just a thing of beauty. So those are my top 5, my favorite off the top 5 Alchemist beats. Tone, what do you got for yours, bro?
Yeah, no order, man. I got Veterans Memorial, man, of HNIC, man. Like, that's one of my favorite beats in rap, period, man. It's, you know, I call HNIC Prodigy's Me Against the World. You know what I'm saying? Because it was very introspective in his life. And that song, man, is deep, man. Like, yo, it make a cat, you know what I'm saying, really think about life when you hear Veterans Memorial, man, especially the end. You know what I'm saying? But Alchemist crafted that beat, man. It set the mood of what Prodigy was trying to say lyrically in the song, man. So Veterans Memorial, awesome beat. Of course, We Gonna Make It. I won't even get into all the reasons why. You already said that. I mean, it's one of the best, most memorable beats in the last 25 years of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I got the Realest, of course. You know what I'm saying? For obvious reasons. Then I got Still Feel Me, man. I like Still Feel Me a whole lot with Kiss. And also my sleeper for my top 5 favorite Alchemist beats.
Well, hold on, we gonna wait on sleepers. We gonna wait on sleepers.
Not sleeper, but favorite beats.
Okay.
It's No Mercy, man, with Pharoah Monch and MOP. You know what I'm saying? Like, that beat is monstrous to me, man. So those are the ones that come to mind. It's probably my favorite. But he got so many. But anyway,
that's a Premier Junior beat right there too.
Yeah, that's Show No Mercy.
Yeah.
Yo, and here's another thing about Al that I forgot to say. I think one of the reasons why I fucked with Al and I gravitated to Al was because my OG, a kid called Roots, when he did the MOP joint, he was like, yo, I was with Al and this nigga be making the beats on the ASR 10. And I've made beats on the ASR 10. So for me, and at that time, for people watching who may not know, the ASR 10 is a keyboard. It's kind of back there in the cut if you can see it. But it's a keyboard. And all my producer old heads would be like, yo, I don't know how you make drums on no keyboard. You need to get you an MPC or SP12. So when Roots was like, yeah, you know, Al just used the ASR 10, it kind of was like, gave me hope. Like, oh, okay, damn. Like, if this nigga making this on the ASR 10, you know, everything like that. So that's definitely a huge reason why I gravitate to him and Jake One, who still uses the ASR 10. You know, Al I think he uses the MPC 2000, 2500. I'm not sure, but I know he's on an MPC. But, you know, Jake is still on the ASR 10. So that No Mercy joint was crazy. Easy, what about you? Your top 5 Alchemist joints?
Okay, I really believe you should, if it's possible, you should dig that up and show the people.
The ASR 10?
I think you should, man. I don't think a lot of people into that, man.
Got me going through some work back here, man.
No, it's too much. It's too much, don't.
No. We gonna see what we can do with it. We gonna move some sneakers.
We salute an Alchemist, and you got that shit sitting right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He gonna see this shit. He gonna be like, oh yeah, my man. Right.
One thing about the ASR, this motherfucker heavy. This ain't no MPC. This is the big boy right here. So. Got the ASR.
My bad. I got killed lifting heavy and shit.
Yeah, you got and I got scoliosis. You see how these people out me? Got me out here lifting heavy things for the chick.
For the love of
this ASR right here. For the love of Alchemist. This is for people who may not know. This is the ASR 10. This is what I got started on.
Words, what's up?
So I'm my top. If I'm gonna pick, first of all, I want to say it's very difficult, almost pointless to pick 5. Because I always say if you could pick 5 easy, your bag ain't that deep. You know what I'm saying? But you guys picked a lot of great ones. I mean, he got a lot of heat. And, you know, as far as like, you guys picked a lot of my favorite records. I'm going just off the beat. I'm starting with Tony Touch, Basics, and Prodigy. Yo, listen, man. I remember when I first heard that shit. Like, they was coming off of Murder Music, and that was really where I was like, yo, this dude in Prodigy is really like that 1-2 punch type shit. That it was the basics.
Yeah.
I gotta go to Terror Squad. Fat Joe Show, Bring It On.
Yeah, I know you going.
Heavy.
That's hard.
Heavy. I love that beat. That beat is heavy.
Yeah.
And then when the Locks freestyled on it on Stretch Armstrong, I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah.
Heavy. I'm gonna go. I gotta go recent one time. I gotta go to Benny the Butcher, Broken Bottles. Heavy, bro. Like slap your grandmother type shit. What I got? 3. Yes. I'm gonna say Mobb Deep, Backwards. I love that joint. Right. I really love that joint. And one more, right? I got one more. This is kind of a sleeper as well. Is the D Block the QB from First Infantry.
Off the first instance. Who was that? Who was on that? Who was on that joint?
It was D Block and Mobb Deep.
Yep.
It was Locks, J Hood, and Mobb Deep.
Yep, J Hood. Right. I forgot that was the other boy who was on here. The
I like
first
J Hood back then, anyway.
First Infantry. Very slept on album too.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't talk about this, but a very dope producer album. Veg, what you got for your top 5, bro?
Alright, for my top 5, I got Win or Lose, Mobb Deep.
Yeah.
When I first heard that joint, I was like, I think I was on Strictly Hip Hop. It was one of those like, yo, we gotta play this. This beat is crazy. This is traditional Mobb Deep sounding vibe, all of that.
Yeah.
Prodigy, Keep It Thorough. That's one of them beats that just give me that, that boom bap feeling every time I hear it. Obviously, we gonna make it Jada Kiss Styles, classic beat. Currency, the Tight. That track, it was almost surprising, I'm saying, how ill that was. Because, Currency, he could spit, but he's not really like deep like that when it comes to the bars. But he did his thing on that, and that beat is just bananas. And wait, was that 5? Hold up.
No, I think you got one more.
One more. Rubber Bands and Weight. Benny the Butcher.
Heavy.
That beat was crazy when I heard it on the Beat CD that he put out. But then Benny the Butcher put some bars to it, and probably my favorite Benny song. So yeah, I love that one.
Kill, can I get one honorable mention?
Do your thing, bro. Do your thing.
I gotta shout out Ghostface the Forest, man.
Ooh, you ain't never lied, man.
Yo,
That's
bro,
a banger. That's a banger.
Al got a lot though.
He got a lot. That's what we're gonna talk about. I think one of the most important things when we talk about Al is his run.
Yeah.
I don't know if any other hip hop producer has had a run like Al. I mean, we talking 99 to 2024. And there's really, we're gonna break down some things, through years, but there's really no down years for this man. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Some producers go through peaks and valleys. There really aren't no for Al. Slept on joints, I'm gonna leave right where Vegas left off. Win or Lose by Mobb Deep. I love that joint, man. Like, I mean that, oh God, that sample, just everything about it. And what I love about it is like, it's funny, it's not murderous. You know what I mean? But they sound so good on it. You know what I mean? Which is what I loved about Al. Like, it was different from Hab, but it was still Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? So definitely Win or Lose. The Far Left. This is a joint that was off of Evidence's EP, The Layover. If anybody hasn't heard it, please go YouTube it. The video is dope. The video was simple, but it's dope. I had never seen it done before. I love that beat. I'm gonna go with Surgical Glove, Raekwon, off of Built for Cuban Links Part 2. That shit, yo. It's again, just the producer in me. There's so many times that when a producer can fuck up my head, I'm like, yo, this dude is nice. When I'm like, ooh, like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I know so many of the tricks. You know what I mean? So easy. I'm sure it's how you maybe feel as an MC. You're a very skilled, very dope MC, but if you hear somebody kind of flip something one way, it may even impress you even more because you like, yo, I already know I'm nice in my bag, but damn, like, that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing. Cut My Teeth by Dilated Peoples. This was off their last album, and the last Dilated album was Directors of Photography. This joint right here. And again, one thing about Dilated and Rhyme Sayers, their albums are always crazy. Like the liner notes for this joint are Polaroid pictures, because Ev is a photographer. So I mean, the liner notes are just all, you know, pictures and just crazy. But Cut My Teeth off of that is crazy. I'm gonna go with something recent too. I'm gonna go to Judas, which is West Side Guns and Conway. It was off the Lunch Meat EP. Yo, that again, crazy. And then my last one is Red Carpet. It was with it was off of the Evidence albums, Evidence, Raekwon, and Razzcast.
Yep.
And that sample, he plays the sample, the original, and then you get to hear what he did to it to make it. And it's like one of those things that's just the thing of beauty. I think as producers, it's some show-off shit. Like, yo, I'm going to show you. Oh, shit, I got dust all over me from the ASR. I'm like, what is this on my shirt? There's dust from the ASR 10 over there. But it's one of them show-off joints, because it's like, yo, let me play you the original sample, and then I'm going to show you what I did to it. And I mean, that Red Carpet joint is just crazy to me. So, what about you? What are 5 slept-on joints for you?
Well, I don't know how slept on this is, man, but that joint, the Essence, man, with Kiss. You know what I'm saying? I love
off of Perf, is it?
Yeah.
Yo, top 5 locks joints for me ever. When that nigga be like, comments
and Prodigy?
What you said?
Is Prodigy on that?
No.
Nah, it's just the locks.
It's just a lock. It just,
But
they killed the Essence, bro, and the beat is
bro. Yo, that's when I was like, yo, Chic is nice. That was when I was like, I always thought Chic was cool, but it was like, yo, on that song, I felt like Chic had the best verse.
Yeah, he might have. It was
West Coast don't even know the name of our band. I mean, yo, if y'all have not heard the Essence, Alchemist, again, First Infantry, tap in. Crazy.
Yeah. My second one, man, is Saigon on Warning Shots, man. Stocking cap, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my joint, yo.
Come on, man.
And not only that beat crazy, but that's what Saigon was in his prime, yo. You know what
So
I'm
you
saying?
talking that shit right now, Tone.
You know how we do Easy. You know what I'm saying? Another one I think you appreciate, Joe. The Bang on him. You know what I'm saying? Return to Mac. You know what I'm saying? That's
Come on, man.
Prodigy killed Bang on him, man. Alchemist, flawless beat, man. Perfect chemistry, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I had Red Carpet too, man, but I'm gonna go with this joint that I was so mad Rick Ross did on this album. That joint was Perfectionist, dog.
With Meek?
With Meek Mills and Rick Ross, so them niggas on that.
I think that was an Alchemist record though. That's why.
Okay, no doubt, that's right.
It was one of them self-made joints. You know, Ross used to put out them like Maybach music.
Yeah.
Made. That's what it was on. But that beat,
Perfectionist was nuts, dog.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And they just blessed the song too, man. Another joint, man, that Death Wish, man, with Jadakiss and Lil Wayne, yo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go there. And I think I got one more, man. Love Y'all More, man. When Mobb Deep first came back out there, a little hiatus, man, and that Love Y'all More. Prodigy was back in his bag. Yeah, Love Y'all More, man.
Write that down.
You're gonna love this one, bro. Love Y'all More with Mobb Deep, man. It was because I thought there was gonna be a jump off to a new album, man, but I don't think they ever put that on any of their albums.
Okay. All right. No doubt. Veg, I know you sitting in the car waiting for wifey, so I want to get you in because I don't want to lose you. What you got for your 5 slept-on joints?
All right, I got Wet Wipes, Camera.
Yep.
You know, I see your headlights. They looking kind of nice. They got me saying, damn. Like, I love that shit. But a lot of it was the beat was like, I love the production and how Cam flowed on it. John Price, Imperious Rex, which originally was an instrumental on one of his CDs, but John P did his thing on that joint on the album also. Fabulous Lullaby. I love that beat. I love what Fab did with it. Definitely slept on. I know I had to fit them in here. I might have 6. Hold up. 1, 2, 3.
It's cool, bro. It's a salute show, bro. Do what you got. Give what you got, bro.
Yeah, because I'm like, wait a minute. think I got 6. You know, I had to put them on here. Do-Rag Dynasty, Tender Greens. That fucking beat's crazy on that album. I mean, I like the whole album, but that was another one. And then the other one is Mechanic, 50 Cent, off of his mixtape where he flipped the shit off Death Certificate, Bird in the Hand, I think that beat. Alchemist flipped that shit. I always loved that sample or whatever that is in that beat. But what Alchemist did with it, and then what 50 did with the lyrics, that Mechanic shit was crazy off that mixtape. So those are my slept on joints.
All right, no doubt. Easy, what you got, bro?
All right, so my first slept on joint is literally probably his most slept on one, because every time I mention it, everyone's like, yo, I don't even know that song. Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style All Stars. It's called Hey You.
Wow. I don't know that one.
That shit is,
Hey You?
I love that shit. So
Okay.
it's like, you know, Snoop had one of those compilation joints, you know, for Doggy Style All Stars. And the name of the song is called Hey You. I want y'all to check that out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll do that.
I get a chance. My second slept on is Evidence, Throw It All Away. Love that joint. I love that joint, man. I love that joint. And I feel like,
all the way.
Evidence, and now that the more that we talk about it, Evidence and Alchemist are very underrated as a
They got good chemistry, man.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. Number 3, I gotta go with my home team. My brother Rex, Styles P, Why Cry. Heavy. You're not familiar with that, please. Give that a listen. It's REKS, Rex.
And you know what, Easy? Styles and Alchemist got really good chemistry as well, man.
Yeah, I'm about to get there.
Bangers.
Yeah. So what I got 3 there?
Yeah. I mean, keep going, bro. It's no limit.
My 4th one is Fat Joe, My Conscience with KRS-One.
I don't know that one.
Heavy. So that's the Elephant in the Room album.
Okay.
Yeah, it's dope.
But see, these are the sleepers. You know what I mean? That's why we're talking about the sleepers. Kill, you gotta tap into that joint.
No doubt. But here's the dope thing, and I want people to know who's watching this, because I know my Twitter following. There's some smart ass that's like, yo, how you don't know? Nigga, here's the thing with Alchemist. We talk about 24 years of greatness here. Ain't nobody probably heard every joint that he's done. And that's the beautiful thing about this show. It's always a learning experience. I know where I'm gonna sit here in front like I know every song. If I don't, I want to tap in. And that's supposed to be, that should be the dope thing. You know what I mean? That everybody's learning. I tell people, if you watch the episode of Apartment 5B, you will learn something. You can't sit here and say you ain't learned nothing. I got too many dope hip hop heads around the table with me to sit here and act like ain't nobody learning nothing from each other. So I just want to put that out there. So my bad, Easy.
Nah, the biggest hip hop fan ain't heard everything, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like I be reading the tweets and I be getting hit the shit too. So it is what it. That's why we here, man. Spread that love. Prodigy, Trials of Love, HNIC album. Love that joint. I just that beat. I could listen to that beat by itself, but I just love the record. You know, when Shorty's like, "You was coming home at 5, I snuck in at 3." You know what I mean? I just you know that hood, that ghetto love shit. I love that shit. And I'm gonna throw in a honorable mention just because I feel like a lot of people don't know that Alchemist produced Styles P, Gangsta and the Gentleman single.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't even know he did that. So I gotta give that a shout too. That's my shit too. So yeah, man.
All right, no doubt. I got one more sleeper. Johnny P's Caddy, Benny and J. Cole. You know what I mean? I love that joint right there. The Dexter Wenzel drums that I use to death myself, but just a dope joint. And as always, Benny and Cole kill it. All right, we're going to go into our top 5 projects because there is somebody out there who's like, I don't really know about Alchemist. Where should I get started? One thing I always want people to walk away with from watching the episode is you ain't lost in the sauce. We're going to point you in the right direction. We're your GPS for dope hip hop. The top 5 projects I got from Al that are produced by him, I got Lord Steppington, the Step Brothers, which is Alchemist and Evidence together. A lot of people don't even know that they had a group. You know what I mean? Their album dropped in 2014. The bangers on there, More Wins, No Hesitation, See the Rich Man Play, Tomorrow. Crazy album right there. And again, it will take you back to and Al's chemistry together. Also in 2014, he dropped a joint called Fashionably Late with Fashawn. That is crazy. Poll for President, Dreams, Professor F, Amen. That poll for President is bananas right there. 2016, he dropped this joint right here that I'm always talking about with Havoc, Silent Partner. This joint right here was crazy. For anybody who's like, yo, could have hold it down by himself on a solo tip, this album right here to me is the perfect place to start with that. 2011, and this is probably my favorite Alchemist produced project. I give it 5 mics personally. Covert Coup with Currency. Like that joint was, BBS, the type with Prodigy, Scottie Pippins. This was the first time I heard Freddie Gibbs on that joint. And he went in, what that nigga say, reporting live from the Devil's Palace for breakfast. I had 2 titties, 2 blunts, and a turkey bacon sandwich. I'm like, yo, that's how you set off your rhyme, my nigga? Like, and I had never even heard of Gibbs before. I was like, I'm in. And he said something like, I keep running it back like I'm the quarterback for the Eagles, Randall Donovan or Michael. Before I picked up this mic, I had, Gibbs just killed that shit. And just crazy album. Currency just killed the Covert Coup. Again, 5 mic album to me. And I'm gonna go with 2004. First Infantry. You know what I mean? Just a very dope album. And like I said, this is 2004. I want everybody to understand it's 2024. So this joint was 20 years ago. So I just want people to keep some of those things in mind. This man is dropping music 20 years later. That's still crazy. So those are my top 5. Again, Vague, I know you're in the car, so I don't want to lose you. Why don't you give me your top 5 projects?
All right, my top 5, I got Currency, Covert Coup for the same reasons you had them. I think they just sound really good together. Definitely should work together again. New Rag Dynasty, of course. I think what I liked about it the most, probably at the time it dropped, it was just a real, fun boom bap. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily the lyrics were that, but just the idea, the album cover, the commitment to the theme and some of the bars, and then just had a lot of dope tracks, a lot of versatility in the different artists. Prodigy was featured on there, so it was just a really dope album that I still play to this day. Speaking of Prodigy, Albert Einstein, I love that project. To me, that joint is like when people talk about, okay, Prodigy wasn't the Prodigy he used to be. I think when he started doing these projects with Alchemist, started to come back a little bit more lyrically, the ideas, just everything. But that, if there's anything as far as a Prodigy solo joint, that's probably my go-to when I point to people. Besides, obviously HNIC. Russian Roulette. I love that joint. I just love how it was created. I love how it sounds. I love his usage of samples and skits, and they got a couple of bars in there. And it's kind of like a beat tape with some raps on it also, and it's just dope to listen to. You can literally just put it on and do whatever. You can listen to it. You could drive to it.
If I'm not mistaken, all the samples I think are all for Russian albums.
Yeah.
I think that was the play on Russian Roulette was all the samples are from Russian music, which is crazy too, but very, very dope album.
Right, you really wouldn't know it based off of, how he produces anyway. You would think it'd be some soul samples or whatever. I also have Silent Partner with Havoc. That was a big surprise to me, a pleasant surprise, very dope album. And the last one I have is Gangrene, You Disgust Me. That joint was bananas. I just was listening out of curiosity when I heard it, and I was like, damn, I think people are sleeping on this, because what's crazy is Alchemist makes a great team with Prodigy, he makes a great team with Currency, he makes a great team with Evidence, and here he's making a great team with Oh No, and it's like, this dude is just good like that. So yeah, those are probably my go-tos.
Yeah. If I had to throw one more in the mix, is this Gangrene right here, the vodka joint. I can't pronounce the other word. What is this word? Vodka and I
can't.
Well, it's a dope album. At the end of the day, put in Gangrene Vodka and it'll come up. You know what I mean? But this is like you said, Vegas, and we're gonna talk about that. Like, yo, how does this dude just mesh so well with so many people? You know what I mean? Tone, what you got for your top 5 projects?
I think this is a testament to his discography, man, because mine is different than y'all. I mean, I got Alfredo, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, for me, first of all, Freddie Gibbs is a very dope MC, man. Dope style, dope voice. And him and Alchemist, again, dope chemistry. The beats was banging on Alfredo. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was critically acclaimed, but also just bangers in the street. You know what I'm saying?
He got nominated for a Grammy.
That shit is hard. Alfredo is hard. You know what I'm saying? It's one of my favorite Freddie Gibbs albums also. First Infantry, of course, the debut, man. I mean, guest appearance was stellar. Beats was stellar. And for me, that was big for Alchemist because only the greats can do that. When you think about Pete Rock's Soul Survivor, you know, some of these guys, legends that had those, you know, their albums that made like that with the guest features and stuff like that. So, yeah, that was dope.
You know what, Tone, for 1 sec, I just want to like really look at this album for a minute and just kind of like look at some of the names for people who may not know. I mean, you talking about they got a joint on here, Dead Bodies with Game and Prodigy, which is crazy. You know, you got the essence. You got
TikTok, kill.
Yeah, we gonna get there. I'm just telling people. I mean, you got MOP on here. You got, like you said, D-Block the QB. You got Noise. You got Devin the Dudes. You got Dolly the Peoples. You got, you know, Chinky. You got Cypress Hill. You got TikTok with Nas and Prodigy. You know what I mean? And I want to say, and Easy y'all would know, like, is that the only time Nas and P have been? I mean, I know it's mine off the Third Mob Deep. But outside, no, they've been on a couple of joints. The same joint
that QB's fine and shit.
Yeah.
I give it up fast. They got mad joints.
Yeah.
So just a crazy dope compilation album. Like I said, in the same vein as Soul Survivor or White Van Music with Jake One or Molly Malls in Control. So if y'all ain't tapped into this, it's a very dope album.
Yeah. Also, Return of the Mac with Prodigy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my go-to Prodigy album solo after H&IC, obviously. You know what I'm saying? So, and I do like Albert Einstein as well. So those are my 3 that I rock with Prodigy. But yeah, Return to Mac, got Elephant Man Bones, man, with Rock Marcy. You know what I mean? So I really like that joint a whole lot, man. It's different. You know what I'm saying? But it shows the versatility in Alchemist production, man. You know what I'm saying? So I like that joint, and I like Chemical Warfare, man. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, for obvious reasons, bangs hard. I like the features. It is what it is, man. Those are mine.
Right. Easy. What about you, bro?
So, only one of my picks wasn't mentioned, and I was fighting. I was leaning towards Chemical Warfare, but I got Albert Einstein. I got the Silent Partner. I got Alfredo. First Infantry, I feel like is a given. But I actually have the Cutting Room Floor 3.
Okay. I ain't mad at that.
2013. I think that's where that Mechanic joint came from. Vegas.
Yeah, Mechanic and the Brick Roast and Meat joint is on there.
Okay. One thing I wanted to add though, real quick is you know, you talking about like, yo, the direction you want to steer people to if you're putting them on the Alchemist. And I do want to add, I feel like this is important now. Kill be terrorizing people on Twitter over this. Where he be like, yo, but he ain't do the whole joint. Alchemist didn't do the whole joint, these whole joints, but it's very important, you know, in regards to his trajectory, where his career goes and all that, and finding his sound, that you got to go to H&IC by Prodigy. Murder Music by Mobb Deep. Obviously, you know, we didn't give a shout out to Thug Music on that album earlier. The Realest got all the love, but Thug Music, Alchemist, Thug Music on it, and that shit is smashing.
Yeah.
So you got to go to those, and you also got to go to the Infamous Mob Special Edition.
I'm not up on that joint.
Huh?
I'm not up on that joint. That's
Kill, please. As soon as we finish,
all right. Infamous Mob.
He got so many bangers on that shit.
Yeah, it's dope. It's dope, kid.
He did like the bulk of that joint,
Yeah.
But you know, that's really what he established, like, you know, because you know, Alchemist is a West Coast guy, came up under Muggs and all that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know, like we said earlier, Baby Premier came up, you know, with the East Coast boom bap influence, and then really established his East Coast alliance, so to speak, with the mob. And I really feel like you got to go to those joints. You got to go to Murder Music. You got to go to HNIC, especially, and the infamous Mob Special Edition. If you really want to like hear where his sound was going at the time.
Right. Nah, that's a dope point, Easy. And two, I just want to make note. The only reason why when I say a producer has to produce the whole album to get in my top 10. That's all it is for me. So it's not that, you know, there's anything wrong with being a producer for hire, because that's what we're about to get into is why do you think Alchemist has been able to last so long? And for me, and Easy, it was a beautiful segue of everything that you were saying. He's a Cali dude, came up under Muggs and Cypress. Through that Muggs album, I want to say it was 97, like Muggs' compilation album. That's where he met Mobb Deep. They vibed. He moved to New York. And I felt like he was a producer for hire. You know what I mean? Like he's getting a joint here. If you really start pulling apart, we're going to talk about his discography a little bit, but he was doing just a lot of like, I'm going to do a song for you. I'm going to do We Gonna Make It. I'm going to do, you know, these two for Mobb Deep. He was like, do a joint. I'm going to do a joint for Pharaoh over here. So he was really a producer for hire. But I felt like around 2010, he moved back. After P got locked up, he moved back to Cali. And I felt like that's when he started doing the whole projects with people. You know what I mean? Like, and I think one of the things I used to always wonder was I would wonder why weren't producers like Pete Rock, like, all right, Pete and CL broke up in like 95, the Main Ingredient came out, maybe by 96, 97, they're broken up. I always would think, why isn't Pete trying to find another MC to produce? You know what I mean? Like, you're in New York, like go to some of these ciphers, go to some of these hip hop spots.
That's a simple answer, Kill.
What's that?
It's like the same where, you know, look, it took Primo a long time to do the prime shit after Gangstar. It's like you establish a legacy, this legendary shit with this one dude, and it goes sour. I could only imagine you get turned off. Like, I don't want to work. I don't want to go through that again. Right. You know what I'm saying? I get my bag here and throw a beat on here and get my bag. I could imagine that's a thought process. You know
with no real emotions and no real business relationship outside of just how much the track gonna cost. Appreciate it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. It's a banger. I got you hot in the streets again. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not saying that I don't feel the same way you feel, okay? What I'm saying is that I can imagine that, you know, you establish this legendary shit. Son, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, that shit is really a thing. It's iconic. Right. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, for that, to just I saw a recent interview where it was pretty much like that shit's not happening no more. It's not even like one dude is saying he's down, the other dude is saying he's not. So you know, and I'm getting a little off topic here, but
no, it's not. It's not off topic.
I could just imagine, like, yo, man, after what I went through here, I don't want to go through that again. I never thought I would have went through that with this dude.
Right.
Or you don't want to be compared. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you Pete Rock, because, you know, this common thing, it popped off great. I mean, you know, I love Auditorium. People know how I feel about the album. But what if it didn't end up being the way it is? Then it's like, you know, we need CL Smooth back. Not saying we don't want it, but he was able to make something that was on a high level. But what if you don't? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and I see that, but I think the thing for me, and I mean, it goes down to personalities, because it's similar to a divorce. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know mad niggas who get a divorce and be like, yo, I want to get married again. They gonna smash other chicks, though. I'm not gonna sit here and not get nothing until the day I die. You know, I'm gonna be in relationships. So again, for me, my personality is just, I love making music. So if me and Vague were an official group and we broke up, hey, I'm gonna still find another MC to produce for, because I just want to make music. I just want to put it out there. And I think that's what separated Alan, like you said, Easy, perfect scenario. Premier, or really all of these dudes. Why didn't Large Pro find another? When we look at all the dope producers of the 90s, none of them really, to me, kept their ear to the street to be like, who's next and who's bubbling. And I felt like that's what Al did. Coming into the 2010s, he's keeping his ear to the street like, okay, who these Griselda dudes? You know, who's this Boldy James dude? Like, when you think about all the big people who are the shit now, Al was fucking with them when they was just coming up. Yep. You know what I mean? And I think that was able to keep his name out here popping. Because once Griselda popped, it was like Alchemist's name just kept going. And now you got Westside, you got Mac Homie, you got Benny, you got Conway, you fucking with Boldy, you fucking with, like you were saying, like I said, Currency was what? Covert Cool was 2011. Freddie Gibbs, niggas didn't know about Freddie like that. Now you on Freddie. So it's like, I felt like Alchemist kept his ear to the streets. And I just feel like a lot of these other producers didn't. And to me, that's what separated Al from a lot of these other dudes. He kept his ear to the street. He kept fucking with these young niggas. And guess what? Maybe he wasn't even charging them money like that. You know what I mean? But it's like, yo, it ain't about that. It's almost like the investment. I can see Pete Rock being like, this young nigga want to beat, but he ain't got 10 racks. So no beat. You know what I mean?
I can imagine as well. Tone, go ahead.
Oh, no, you good, go ahead, you good.
I could also imagine it's like, you know, what like, so, you know, this is my personal opinion. I can imagine y'all feel similar. We talk about Pete Rock and Premier, right? This is who we talking about. It's the top tier, the top of the top, right? You got to imagine, like, there's got to be some sort of lack of hunger. Like, I'm him. I'm not going to chase nobody. Right. And I'm rich. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Or not even rich. It's just like, you know, like, I don't permit can go overseas and sell out 30 fucking dates right now. Right. You know, so it's like, there's got to be like this thing. It's like, you know, your bag's procured, and it's like, you know, I'm not hungry like that. And I'm not trying to speak for nobody, but you could only imagine. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. And again, I think it's personality, because for me, I just love making music, dog. Like, there's nothing more than I love for Vague to hit me like, yo, send me some beats, I want to rhyme. Or if you be like, yo, Kill, send me some. I just love making music. You know what I mean? And I feel you. Like, you could be at this place, but it's like Premier and Pete Rock, like, we ain't talking Swiss. We not talking, you know, those producers. It just seemed like Pete and Preem would want to keep putting music out. And to some extent, Pete has. Like, it kills me when people are like, yo, it's so good to see Pete Rock again. I'm like, oh, fuck are y'all talking about? He ain't never go nowhere. He got the album Retropolitan with Sky Zoo. He had the album with Fleetwood. He had the album with Smith & Wesson. He had the album with Smoke DZA. So it's not like, people are really like, oh, Pete, I didn't even know Pete still made beats. And I'm like, the fuck is you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? But because of this Common album, which is a beautiful thing, which also is a piece of having money behind this. You know what I mean? Because I feel like Common's putting some money behind this.
There's a machine. Yeah, that matters, bro.
You know what I mean?
A Grammy nominated, a fucking Oscar award. He's all
right.
He's not trying to put out an album on deaf ears. No way.
Right. So I feel like, and again,
I appreciated about it a lot too. My fault, Kill. I really appreciated it a lot. Was the rollout, and I wanted to see the similar rollout with LL and Q-Tip, and I don't feel like we got that. Off topic, but I'm just saying.
No. But I think a great piece too, and Vague, jump in anytime you want to, bro. But I think the other thing too is that, and again, like you said, Easy, I don't know. I'm just assuming. Common in Hollywood is a grade A actor. You know what I mean? Common probably has, and again, I never try to get in people's pockets. Common probably has some disposable income. You know what I'm saying? Con probably got $100,000. Because here's the thing, what shocked me about the show, because I wasn't able to go because it was Wifey's birthday that weekend, I didn't realize they had a whole stage set. They got this whole like thing put together. It's not like a regular show. And I'm like, yo, that shit costs money to bring all that shit from city to city and break that shit down. And because you think about Retropolitan to me, in fact, I like Retropolitan more than this Calm joint. They both dope, just two different albums. But Sky Zoo ain't have none of this. You know what I mean? Sky Zoo ain't get up there on Jimmy Fallon. Pete had Common could probably call Jimmy Fallon like, yo, Jimmy, we trying to come through. Can we come through? Good luck.
Yes, no doubt. He got to connect.
For now,
Common can also call fucking, Heineken.
Right.
Come sponsor this shit. You understand what I'm saying? It's throwing some shit out.
There's some phone calls that, and like you said, Easy, it's not, the machine is Common. Because they're not on a real label. The machine is Common. Common can call Jennifer Hudson. Yo, I want you on the album. Shorty, come through. You know what I mean? Bilal, come through. I want you on like 3 joints on here.
Resources, man. Resources.
You know, why do these dudes have a billboard in Times Square? You know what I mean? That's Common is the machine behind this. Because to me, Retropolitan is just as dope. But Sky Zoo ain't have nothing. They didn't have any of this. They not on no Jimmy Fallon, and they not, you know what I mean?
Common used his resources the same way to Easy Point. I really wish I would have seen several interviews on a rollout with Q-Tip and LL.
Because LL has the resources.
Power. He was doing it by himself. LL was on Sway and everyone by himself. well, it's like Q-Tip just producing and disappeared again. You know what I'm saying? But Common and Pete Rock, it felt more like a unit. You know what I'm saying? And the rollout was dope. But back
and it felt like back in the day.
Right. It felt like back in the day. That's what it is. But the difference is what it was back in the day is we had the machine.
Yeah.
What we don't have anymore now is, you know, niggas is releasing it independently, and that's really the most machine that you have. Because again, all these in stores, all this stuff, that's travel. That's hotel rooms. Like that shit costs money.
Budget.
Yeah, that's a budget. So again, but we don't want to get off topic. So we're just bringing it back.
But
we gonna say something?
But bringing it back as far as like what I was thinking about Alchemist for a second, like he's a little younger than Pete and Preem also. Yeah. I think he's ear to the street still. I think he's still on his hip hop head shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I rock with all these young dudes, and he probably the type like, yo, we start cooking in the studio. We done banged out 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do a whole project, yo. It's sounding good. We feeling good. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I just think that he's one of the ones where if he's vibing with somebody in the studio, I mean, look what he's done, not with this Prodigy, but all these different MCs we've named. He has multiple albums with a single MC, and that comes from building a relationship and a rapport with somebody in the studio. You know what I'm saying as well, and just long-term relationships, man. So I just think it's ear to the street. I think his personality is let's work. He a workhorse. If you look at his discography, he never took a year off in the 2000s. He has music every year in the last like 24 years, bro. That's impressive.
Yo, I remember when I had dropped my album with Static on Show Off, and I was making my rounds. The first time I met Boldy James was at Show Off Radio. And I'm there, oh yeah, it's dude Boldy James from Detroit. Oh, yo, shit, no doubt. He gets up there and he goes, yeah, you know, my first chemistry set, my album produced by Alchemist. And I look and I'm like, who is this guy? So when y'all say, you know, that's not a slight. I never heard of
it. You didn't know who he was. But that's what I mean by he keeps his ear to
the street. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, damn, Al really like out here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was the first when I really noticed, okay, like he's outside like that. That's a good point too.
And I mean, I think that's the thing. If we just look at the new MCs, Action Bronson, multiple projects, Rock Marcy, multiple projects, Freddie Gibbs, multiple projects, Currency, multiple projects, Benny the Butcher, multiple projects, Conway, Westside, and Boldy James. Like the names I just named are like 8 or 9 of the biggest people in hip hop right now. And he was rocking with them when they were virtually nobodies just coming up. You know what I mean? And again, and I feel like Al, and I think that's why I love Al so much. Not that I know the nigga, but I feel like it's like kindred spirits because that's how I am. I want to work. I'll be on Twitter and niggas be like, yo, Kill, they send me some music. I'm like, yo, your shit's dope. Want to do a little 5-song EP? They be like, yo, for real? I'm like, yeah, let's just put this shit out. See what it do. Split it down the middle with Distro Camp. Let's go. Like, it's about just keeping your ear to the street. But like you said, Easy, if you feel like, yo, I'm Pete Rock, this little young nigga don't got no money, you know what? But so again, this is why. But then Pete is trying to get on some Griselda projects. And now that they've been, now you in line with everybody else. Alchemist came in when it was like, there was some people who was like, oh, who the fuck Westside Gunn? Oh, Alchemist there? Oh, that's why I tapped in the first chemistry set with Boldy.
Exactly. So
I'll give you a little quick example real quick too, like somebody keeping the ear to the street. Like a long time ago, it was this group here in North Carolina with Ninth label they called Actual Proof, right? So they had this joint called Genius. And so Kendrick Lamar came on Twitter, was like hitting Ninth like he was a nobody, he was K-Dot. Nobody knew who he was over here on the East. He was like, yo, I want to jump on that joint. He jumped on that joint. They started a relationship. Next thing you know, years later, he does ductwork for him. He gets a Rhapsody on to Pimp a Butterfly. But that's to your point, is building a relationship before somebody blow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a little young dude from Compton. He's not Kendrick Lamar yet. But now we rock together. When you blow up, yeah, I'll put your artist on my album, which that's what happened. And then, yo, you do this ductwork joint for me, yo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And etc. And then I'll do other little joints with you behind closed doors. So Alchemist did that. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, he ain't got to sit in line for none of these guys now because he can text these cats now. They'll send him a verse.
Right. And you see how it is. And you see the relationship with Griselda. Benny, he does half of every Benny album. Like, okay, Derringer gonna do half, I'm gonna do half. Okay, Hit Boy gonna do half, you gonna do half. It's one of those things where I used to always be like, yo, Nas owe Large Pro a beat, at least on every album. Like, nigga, you gotta give Large Pro a beat. Like, this nigga put you on. Like, he may not produce the whole album, but you gotta show him some love. And I feel like that's what cats have done for Alchemist. Dog, we about to go through the discography. I didn't realize this boy got like 5 projects with Boldy James.
He killed.
Like, just off the rip with Boldy. What you gonna say, Easy?
You said you mentioned Benny the Butcher, and yo, we gotta throw another Germany's Graduation.
Oh, Jermaine's Graduation is crazy. That's my wake up ringer. That's literally what wakes me up every day for work.
Heavy.
Jermaine's Graduation.
I love that song.
You know what I also believe too, though, because we keep talking about Premier and Pete Rock, and they're here, and I also feel like Alchemist wants to be with them.
There,
looks up to them. He's like, I'm gonna stay hungry, and you motherfuckers are gonna put me up there one day or another, one day whether you like it or not. And I feel
and we're gonna talk about GOAT list too. Vague, what about you? Any ideas on why you think Al has been able to stay relevant for the past 24 years?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of what y'all said about him keeping his ear to the street, staying hungry. I think also when he got to the point when he was doing production for much bigger hip hop artists like Eminem, he didn't abandon that underground scene. He stayed in those clubs. He do shows with these cats too. But also what helps him, especially now, is his connection with Action Bronson and being on that cooking show, a reality show, which was extremely popular, and he was essentially a part of the cast. So you get people who know Alchemist, who get to, learn more about him and follow him, and then you get people who never heard of him, who get to tap into his music. And the way streaming services are now, you can just look somebody's name up and you can literally find everything. Like, you can literally just become a fan of somebody in a moment's notice because now you have access to all this content. As it relates to Pete Rock and Premier, I think with them, I think they might have gotten to a point where they kind of fell in the bag of who's approaching me for production. I give them a beat, and then that's that. I think Pete Rock was a little bit more aggressive, but not as aggressive as or hungry as Alchemist to literally be on the scene to the point where he's in the conversation. Even him like working with Hit Boy like that. Like, they done a million collaborations and they did a little EP and they rapping, and like, he's just all over the map with it, and it's good business for him. And honestly, I think he's already. Well, we're not going to talk about that yet. I'll wait.
All right, yeah, we gonna get there.
I do want to add one thing that I feel like we're leaving out in regards to him being able to stick around so long. The most important thing for anybody, MC producers, being able to adapt. Alchemist has been able to adapt, brother. Like we said, late 90s, Baby Premier. Then he came early 2000s, established his own sound. Now he's doing the shit with the no drums and all that. You know what I mean? Whether you like it or not, it's another topic.
No. But that's a good point, because I want to say
he's with the times and he's adapting, and even his rhyming style, he's not rhyming like he was before. He's even keeping up with that as well.
Right. And I think with the no drum thing is that he would keep in mind Russian Roulette came out in 2012, which, if they correct me if I was wrong, was, if not all, 90% just loops. You know what I mean? So this is 2012. So Al is one of the originators of bringing that back. We're gonna stop this. Derringer invented that shit. RZA and Premier was doing that shit back in '91. Yeah. But to bring it to the masses now, it's not necessarily Rock Marcy. It's definitely not Derringer. Alchemist was one of the first people who did it. And I always say this about Steph Curry. When people say, "Oh, Steph Curry ruined the game," I said, "No, Steph didn't ruin the game. He came in playing his game. Who ruined the game was all the coaches that started letting players not named Steph Curry take Steph Curry shots." So that's my beef with drumless hip hop, was not that it's there. Hell, I do it. Me and Vay got songs that's drumless hip hop. It's the fact when everybody's doing it. You know what I mean? So that was the thing. Like, but Al could almost be like given the title of bringing that back up to the forefront. You know what I mean? So like you said, Easy, I actually have 2 Alchemist mixtapes that I sent to y'all. One is like Our Boy Named Al, and that was like, I almost call that the Alchemist. And then ALC is like more the Deal of a Decade stuff. And like you said, Easy, and he never really had a sound for you to be like, oh, there it is again. because as much as I love Premier, it did get to a point where I was like, oh, this is a Primo beat. I could tell in the first 5 seconds with the drums and the scratching, and then it just got stale after a while. That was great from like 93 to maybe 99, but then it was like, all right, could you know, give me something else. Like, and it was like, I don't know if Primo had anything else to give us. You know what I mean? So I think that's the other thing with Alchemist. Like, you really can't tell his style or whatever. And I just want to look at some things for people to look at, like, since he moved back to Cali. 2011 was Covert Coup and Evidence, Cats and Dogs. He did 6 on there. 2012, Gangrene, Rare Chandeliers with Action Bronson, Bumpy Johnson with Prodigy. 2013, Do-Rag Dynasty, Albert Einstein with Prodigy, Masterpiece Theater with Willie the Kid, My First Chemistry Set with Boldy. 2014, Step Brothers, Fashionably Late. Then there was another Gangrene out. 2016, The Carlton Heist with Currency, A Silent Partner with Havoc. 2017, Fantasy Island with Jay Worthy. 2018, Whether or Not, another EVER album, 4 songs. Al's Lunch Meat EP. Fetty with Currency and Freddie Gibbs. Tanner Talk 3, he did 4 joints. 2019, Lamb Over Rice with Action Bronson. Yacht Rock, which was an Al joint. Boldface EP with Boldy James. 2020, Price of Tea in China, again Boldy James. Lulu with Conway. Alfredo with Freddie Gibbs, which got the Grammy nod. 2021, you got Carry the Fire, which was another Al joint. Haran, Arm & Hammer. This Thing of Ours, which was an Al project. Bo Jackson, another project with Boldy. This Thing of Ours Part 2, which was Al. Super Tecmo Bo, which was another project with Boldy. 2022, you got Continuance with Currency. Tanner Talk, he did 7 of those. We Cry Together, the Kendrick joint, you know, off the Grammy. I think he won a Grammy for that. Then you got the Elephant Man's Bones with Rock Marcy. Then 2023, you got The Great Escape with Larry June. Voice Desire with Earl Sweatshirt. I mean, like, when you just, I mean, think of all those projects I just named. Yo.
Don't forget, he also did the Euphoria beat.
Oh,
in the battle.
Yep.
To be a part of that is,
and Meet the Grams.
Meet the Grams. No,
Meet the Grams. That's what I meant. Meet the Grams.
Meet the Grams.
Yeah. So again, like, dog, I don't know anybody. We did an episode because DJ Quick was saying he deserved this to be in the same conversation when people bring up Dr. Dre's name. And I was like, nigga, you gotta let me see your resume. Like, show me your resume. Show me your resume of what you've done. That
you know what happens, like, sometimes people drink and do drugs. That's what happens.
Right. And I can get it from a standpoint. If you want to talk about a technical standpoint,
heavy,
and all that stuff, that's it. But it's like, you gotta show me your resume. I just gave you, and these are just the albums. These are the projects he's produced. I'm not even talking about the one-offs throughout here. You know what I mean? If we do that, and I mean, God, yo, this list is crazy. Like, I want people at home to see this list. This is just a list of all the names: Dilated Peoples, Mobb Deep, Foul Mosh, Prodigy, CNN, Freddie Fox, Big Pun, Jadakiss, Casual, Fat Joe, Ghostface, Styles P, Nas, 50 Cent, Cypress Hill, Sheek Louch, Saigon, Royce, Eminem, Elzai, Styles P, Cam'ron, Razzcast, Cormega, Joel Ortiz, Evidence, Lil Wayne, Fashawn, Fabulous, Slaughterhouse, Raekwon, Terminology Gang, Green, Inspector Deck, Rocka Our Science, Currency, Noriega, Rick Ross, Rock Marciano, Action Bronson, Do-Rag Dynasty, Mac Miller, Earl Sweatshirt, Step Brothers, Boldy James, Schoolboy Q, DITC, Blue, Ab Soul, Joey Badass, Game, Havoc, Mayhem Lauren, Griselda, Jay Worthy, Mad Kami, Jay Electronica, Kendrick Lamar, Freddie Gibbs, and Rome Streets. Like, bruh.
Y'all want to hear something crazy?
What's up?
So, you hear the fucking names you just rang off, like all the elite, right? A lot of underground, but a lot of elite. So I don't know if y'all remember this when Versus was a big thing.
Okay.
When Elliot Wilson asked Alchemist, "Would you do a Versus?" Do y'all remember this? And
I remember him saying, "Would you do a Versus?" And he was like, "Nah." He was like, "Hell no."
So he said, "Madlib." He said, "Oh, Madlib would cook me, whatever." Being humble. So I was on Twitter and I'm like, yo, like, Madlib. Now you gotta remember the format of Verses, because context matters here. Right. And I'm like, yo, there's no way that Madlib could fuck with Alchemist in the Verses.
Nah.
I got attacked. I was attacked for that.
Oh, I can believe it, bro.
No.
But again,
It's like, yo, bro, come on. You see them names? Like, come on, it's too much, bro. It's really too much.
And it comes down to hits. And I think a lot of times verses had to. I didn't understand verses. So, and what I mean by that is somebody was like, I think it was Fonte. He was like, yo, music will cook D'Angelo in the verses. And I was like, nigga, you fucking on crack. But I had to step away because remember, in my mind, I'm thinking who's the better singer or producer. Verses just about hit songs. And he's 100% right. Music will cook D'Angelo.
And it became about performance. So it's like, who knows? You got to see what the fucking happens. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But just in those old days of when you was just in the same room together, there's no way, because half the people
I was attacked.
Right. But I get it. Because people love Madlib. It's a cold
Alchemist would beat Madlib in the fucking verses.
I've seen Alchemist beat Just Blaze in a beat battle live. People, there's no Just Blaze song that came on that had the reaction that We Gonna Make It had. Like,
what is Madlib gonna play against We Gonna Make It?
Nothing.
What's he gonna play? Just keep it thorough. Yeah, no doubt.
Nothing.
Or hold you down. Like, there's
nothing.
That's the shit I was talking about. Like, people.
And that's so distant, Madlib, because versus is about the hits, the crowd engagement. You know what I'm saying? Madlib more got laid back riding your Jeep music.
He's a maniac too, though, Madlib. He's incredible.
But not in the verses. So just putting some of them names out there. I'm sorry, I forgot 2024. You got Everybody Can't Go with Benny. He did half of that. That was 5. He did Heads I Win, Tells You Lose, another album with Gangrene. Like Vague said, Meet the Grams with Kendrick, and then you got Big Hit, the joint with him and Hit Boy. You know what I mean? So that's from 2011 to 2024. This man's not taking a year off. He's dropped at least 3 projects, fully produced by himself, every year. Not to mention the little one-offs here and there. I sold the Alchemist beat. I got a joint. I mean, here's the thing. It's hard for me with the top 10 because my head, I'm kind of, stuck with my top 10. Well, I'm stuck with my top 5. At this time of point, for me, Alchemist does crack my top 10 of greatest producers of all time. And in my opinion, if we do post-2000, he's the greatest producer post-2000. Like, and I say that and people are like, well, what about Justin? Kanye? Yeah, great. Not fucking with Alchemist. It's not in my opinion. So to me, he is a top 10 GOAT producer. And if we're talking about after 2000, he's the GOAT producer to me after 2000. So what about you? Does ALC make your top 10 GOAT list? And then how does he fare if you're looking at producers and what they put out past 2000?
So 2000 to now, I always said he was top 3 regardless. Anywhere between 1 and 3. You can argue Kanye, but did Kanye make all the beats by himself? I mean, we know that there's several projects where he had assistance with it, and we know Alchemist is in the studio by himself. Making beats a lot of times. So
all I know is Kanye lost his place when I found out that nigga didn't do Down and Out, because that was always my thing. Because back in the day, it was always better. Who better, Kanye or Justin? I'm like, nigga, that Cameron Down and Out is filthy. The day I found out he ain't do that shit, hey, bro.
So he's fair though. He's never denied that though.
No, he didn't. I mean, he's actually the person who said he didn't do it. So, again, like you said, to be fair, but that means I don't know what else said produced by Kanye West that wasn't produced by Kanye West. For whatever reason, whether Cameron's label said, hey, we'd rather use Ye's name and there's no name producer's name because Ye's on the chorus and it'll sell more records. Whatever the reason is being, is that now I can't, whatever reason your kid lies to you about cheating on a test, it don't matter. You lied. Now I have to sit back and think, do I really trust you when you saying you going here, when you going there? For whatever reason you lied, the moral story is you lied. Or it was lied upon you. So again, I can't trust whatever says produced by Kanye West because you come out to say, yo, I didn't do that beat. One of my young boy producers did that beat. If you tell me you got young boy producers under you, now I'm really thinking, what did you do? Because there ain't no young boy producers under Alchemist. It ain't no young boy producers under Pete Rock. There ain't no Pete Primo don't got 5 or 6 young boys sitting around under him. So the fact that you even have that, now, that's how he got on with Derek D.D. Angeletti, because he was one of D-Dot's young boys. So if you got a bunch of young boys under you, I got a question what you making and what you not making. What were you gonna say, Tom?
Oh yeah, because because Alchemist doesn't have a My Dark Twisted Fantasy where you got 4 or 5 people producing on every song. Somebody got some drums, somebody did some scratches, somebody. But nevertheless, I feel
it's a crazy conversation though, bro. Because like Kanye was like changing the course of the fucking.
Oh, he did. I mean,
what he was doing. You know what I'm saying?
I know Ye can produce.
This is
about.
Even Timbaland's a maniac. He got.
And he had danger under him.
Don't get me wrong. Kanye's a maniac when he want to be. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he's bigger. He got the bigger records regardless. But in terms of being prolific, I feel like Alchemist might be the most prolific beat maker, producer rather, since 2000. You know what I'm saying? To me, he has more projects. You know what I'm saying? He has more full albums, more EPs, more extended plays. I just don't know nobody who can compete with what he did since 2000. So I would say he's number one for me of this generation or 2000s. And if hip hop is 51 years old, and Alchemist, you're talking about 24 years here, you want to get from 1998, 1999. Half of the time hip hop has been alive, he's been one of the best producers, so he has to be in the top 10 to me.
Yo, that's a great point, bro. That's a great point. Yo, this dude has been making beats through half the time that hip hop has been alive.
And been on fire.
Yo,
never had a down period in over 25, 26 years. Every year he had music out. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a great point.
I mean, how many projects you'd be like, even if you don't love the project, how many times have people said, Alchemist beats ain't really, Alchemist beats generally on point.
Yeah, that's a great point, bro. That's a great point. Vay, you want to say something?
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay. Well, why I got you here with the mic on. So, does Al make your top 10 GOAT list producers, and how do you feel about him? Where does he rank if you go post 2000?
If you go post 2000, he's definitely top 3, if not number 1, just based off the work. Like you just can't ignore the work, the longevity, not just making beats, but having a lot of dope projects and versatility and stuff like that. All time, I don't know, only because as far as top 10, only because I always have to think about who am I putting in front of him? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right, hold on one second. My wife called.
All right, yeah, do you think? Easy, what you got, bro?
I mean, I believe, in regards to, quality, output and quality, I think he's by himself. You understand what I'm saying? I got to give a shout out to my bro Static Selector, but like they say, there's levels. You know what I'm saying? Just like Alchemist ain't on Kanye's level, but like I said, it's a matter of the quality of the output. So I don't think that's even a fucking. I don't see who else we would put in the conversation with him, to be honest, post 2000.
Right.
I
mean, he reminds me. He's almost like the Pac of producers. You know how like Pac could die and still have 5-6 albums you could drop. Like this man been going, but I feel like that's how Alchemist is, just with the amount of music that he puts out. Like I'm just like, again, like I'm doing the research and I'm like, God damn, how many albums this dude got with Boldy James? Like I said, this nigga named 5 times just alone. So it's like,
as far as top 10. Personally, yes. See, my top 10 is funny because I have a Rushmore that doesn't move, and then I have 5-way tie for 5th.
Right.
And Alchemist is in that. But like to go back to what Vegas was saying, like who you put in front of, like yo, bro, it's a lot of like it. If we're being objective, it's tough. I 15 range maybe. But me personally, the shit that I like, no question, he's in my top 10 for sure.
But you know what, too, though? A lot of times, and I think all of us who are hip-hop has been guilty of this before, but I'll speak for myself, sometimes we gatekeep certain names because you don't want to disrespect their legacy. It's like for producers and MCs, you be like, can I move this person out the way, or are you disrespecting them? But the reality is this, too. Apple's better than some niggas that we think in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's hard for us to say that sometimes because you don't want to offend one of these popular guys.
You know what it is, too? Is that when he's arguable, like you could move a few around. You know what I'm saying? Look, let's be real. You got Preem, you got Pete, you got Dre, you got the RZA, right? you got Large Pro, you got Eric Sermon, you got Marley, you got Havoc, you got
And you can argue he's better than some of them.
Like, you understand what I'm saying? It's a lot. So you got Dilla. I didn't even say Dilla.
Yeah.
Did I say Dilla? Did I say
No, I
Q-Tip?
didn't say Dilla.
That's what I'm saying. Like, arguably, yes. Like, can you fight? Can you have an argument for him against a lot of those? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think the thing is too,
hell yeah, like without question.
And I think the thing is too with Tone, because here's the funny part. I have no problem saying, I say it all the time. Like, I don't think Premier has put anything out that's really fucked me up in easily over a decade. If we're not talking about that Prime, to me that was his last great body of work.
First Prime
album the first Prime. But again, he sampled Adrian Young. Shit, my Yorkie could sample Adrian Young. You can't go wrong with Adrian Young.
You can't do that though, Kill. You can't do that.
What?
He still did it, man.
No. But what I'm saying is
the objective, man. You know what I mean?
But what I'm saying is this. Then you look at the second Prime when he was sampling Ant-Man Wonder, it ain't as good. So a lot of times, if you get and when you listen to the Prime, and again, I don't want anybody to take this as if I'm discrediting Cream. Most of those things were literally just loops that if I played you the original, you heard, oh, that's what Royce was rhyming over. Half them joints didn't even need to have drums added to it. So again, I'm not trying to take that away from him, but I'm just saying, Tone, I'm not one of the people I'm like, yo, Pete still fucks up my head.
You keep it real.
Pete still fucks up my head. And that's no disrespect against Preem, but from what Preem has done, I'm like, easy, I have a Mount Rushmore just from what Preem has done. Like, no matter what, he can't move for me. After the 5,
it's just he got too many.
Yeah, after the 5, it starts to get blurry. But I think another thing, I know there's somebody out there watching who had no idea that Alchemist has this kind of resume. I know.
Now let me ask y'all this question, all right? No. This is what I feel hurts Alchemist in regards to his argument for a firm top 5 or 10, whatever.
Right.
It's error, right? His output is crazy. It's no question. But let's look at what Preem got and what Dre got.
Right.
The memorable records, the magnitude of the records.
Right.
Alchemist can't come close to that, and that's kind of gonna hinder him because we're in an era where the shit is smashing, and tomorrow we don't care about it no more.
Right, and that's a good point. And I'm glad this is beautiful because you keep segueing right into where I want to go. The 2011 when he moved back to Cali, a lot of these albums don't have those songs. A lot of these albums from 2011 to 2024 don't have the Keep It Thorough. You know what I mean? They don't have the We Gonna Make It anymore. Those come from Al from like the 99 to about 2010. So like you said, that would be the thing because the output is incredible. The music is dope, but there aren't those bangers. If Alchemist had to go up against Just Blaze from 2011 on, he's getting washed because he doesn't have, the crowd wouldn't even know half of these songs. You know what I mean? So I think
that's what I'm saying. It's like the magnitude. It's almost like, and I don't want to get too into it because I know when they when they talk about sales,
right?
Like relevancy. Even if you don't want to use, because a lot of people hate the word sales. Relevancy. That shit matters when you're talking greats. You understand what I'm saying? I've always said he might make you make better beats. Let me give you an example. Patrick Mahomes is a much better athlete than Tom Brady. He's not greater at the moment, though, right? You see them both in the field, and you're picking a team. We're all taking Mahomes first, right?
Well, here's the thing. Are we talking prime? You know me, I always got to do prime. Are we doing prime Tom Brady versus prime Mahomes?
Of course. Because Brady's done now.
Right.
Or Kevin Garnett is the better athlete than Tim Duncan, but who's the greater power forward? You understand what I'm saying? So it could be better and not greater. If we're in a cypher, I don't give a fuck. Jadakiss is cooking Tupac 10 times out of 10. He's not the greater artist, though.
Right.
Greater MC. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that factor in, and when a lot of people, they lack objectivity. You can't have these conversations with them. It makes it difficult.
Well, yeah, and to your point right now, like it's like you couldn't compare Alchemist to Dr. Dre, for example, because Dr. Dre produced a DLC album. The NWA Straight Outta Compton, The Chronic, you know, Doggy Style.
Changed the trajectory of the genre.
So he changed the whole genre, not just the West Coast. He changed production, period. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
But we also talking about the GOAT guys. So there's 3 or 4 of those guys who got several albums that gonna be in the National Library of Congress type shit, whatever. And Alchemist don't have. He doesn't listen. He got personal 5 mic albums, but not a culture changing, fully produced album.
He ain't got no songs with Biggie. That's why I wore the shirt, because we got robbed.
Yeah,
Biggie and Alchemist.
And again, and I think that's the thing. Like with Premier for me, that's what cemented. There's so many things that cemented Premier. Was like you gave 3 of the next level MCs some of their greatest moments on wax with Nas, Big, and Jay. But then you also went back and helped Rakim, KRS, and MCs from the past get relevant again. You changed the production game. So especially just for me as a producer.
And that's outside of Gangstar.
Right, and that's outside of Gangstar. I didn't even bring that up. So,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. So that's why for me and being a producer, Primo is cemented there. Like so I'm like easy. My top 4, really 5 can't move. Like Alchemist could be rocking like this for the next 40 years and that's not gonna move. Now some people on the pieces can be moved around, you know. But and then again, like I said, I know that there are people out there watching this show. They're out because again, we don't know everything. That's why I had to do the research. There was albums on here I didn't know he did. You know, because he does so much. Yeah. Some of it's gonna get past you. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know he had 3 albums.
I mentioned I think 1 or 2 that I haven't heard.
Right.
I've heard all of them.
I think you said for Sean. You got to give me the name of that.
Oh man, that fashionably late, man. Oh god, that's
fashionably late.
Fashionably late, by for sure. I'll send it to you tonight if it ain't streaming. It's crazy.
I know I heard the Currency one, but I don't know if I remember.
That joint hard, man.
Yeah, oh man, Cover Coup, man.
You know what I mean?
Cover Coup. All right, now here's the thing we're gonna do, because I always got this from CL Smooth when he said the best who ever did it on a Pete Rock track. Who do you think, and I know who Easy's gonna say, who do you think fits just has the best chemistry with Alchemist? And I think it's crazy because just from talking, he has chemistry, such great chemistry with so many people. You know what I mean? So I don't think that there's a wrong answer. I know for me, I just love him with Evidence/Dilated Peoples. Like, to me, that him and Ev, just the Weatherman, the Whether or Not album, the what was this joint that he just dropped? The Cats and Dogs, that was crazy. Like, whenever him and Ev connect, the Lord Steppington album, that whole Step Brothers album, I love him and Al, I love him and Dilated. But again, you can't go wrong. Easy, I think I know who you're gonna say, but you say who, and I'll see if I'm right.
Okay, one answer. The one that said, I break bread, ribs, $100 bills. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And this is and let me, you know, it's funny because when I mentioned Throw It All Away on my sleepers, you kill the way you reacted was like, okay, he really fucked with the and your mixes. You got a lot of the evidence on your mixes too. Because I played a book today at work. Go look for that, by the way.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Like, and this is the thing, Evidence, and I said it earlier. They're actually a great tandem.
Right.
They're a great pairing, but this is what separates it. What we just said, the magnitude
of the song,
the Premier records versus the Alchemist records. It's the magnitude of what Prodigy and Alchemist did versus everything else, dog.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it.
From the text, I'm similar to a menace. Like, son, there's so many.
Couldn't fuck with the damage that I do with a bastard. Keep fucking around. Won't be nobody strong enough to hold. P's verse will hold you down as like a top 5 P verse for me, man.
If Cool G Rap didn't spit one of the fucking best verses in the history of life on the realest, we might be talking about Prodigy's verse more.
Yeah.
What he say? Never prejudge to be the humble that
that shit is excellent, bro. And nobody even talks about it because Cool G Rap just fucking went off the rocker. Yeah. And you know, whatever, you know. But come on, it's for me, it's no brainer, dog.
It's easy. Look, and so mine is Prodigy as well. Even though you said Nas earlier. So, but I was torn because it's Prodigy is number 1 with Alchemist for me. But right there, number 2 for me was Jadakiss because I love the way kids sound over. When I listen to the Essence all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like I just love the Essence. I listen to Still Feel Me all the time, man. I just love I love the way Jadakiss
And feel me, and still feel me. That's what
and feel me, yeah. And it's like so. Jadakiss is like number 2 to me. I just love his voice over Alchemist beats, but yeah, Prodigy, man, just him and Alchemist, man, they just had a perfect chemistry, man. Like there was a group anyway in their own right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, the crazy thing about
they have the catalog to back it.
Yeah.
The craziest thing to agree with you guys and even to make your argument even that more, a foundation even better. Here's the crazy part. P's part of Mobb Deep. One of the greatest groups ever. P's main producer is Havoc.
One of the greatest
producers ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
And an argument could be made that the dopest to ever do it on the Alchemist track is Prodigy. Like that right there is a testament to how dope Alchemist is. That it's almost like you know what I mean. So just another huge point there. Vay, can you talk? Who do you feel is the best who ever did it? On an Alchemist track? Who he has the best chemistry with?
Prodigy, man. That's who I had, man. It was almost unbelievable. I felt like I was portraying Havoc sometimes with them projects. Like, man, this is like a whole other group with these two paired together. But like Tone said, projects like Return of the Mac, songs like Stuck on You, you know what I'm saying? Like the Albert Einstein joint. Like he really gave Prodigy almost like a whole other career based off of chemistry and production and commitment, to be honest. I think that's the one thing about Alchemist that you could say about him when he works with these artists. I don't think he's just throwing beats at them. I think he's committed to giving them something they can work with, something that, potentially can go. Well, I don't know if he was thinking about Meet the Grams. I think that was a happy accident. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think he is just the one that sounds the best as far as, like, at home, even though everybody sounds at home in Alchemist production. But I definitely would go with Prodigy.
I don't want to sound cliche, but when they say it's like a marriage, like when I said that Tony Touch, that basic shit, that shit right there is like, it's like that foundation. I feel like of when it was murder music first, obviously, but it was only two. He only did 2 on there. They did that, then they segued into all the other shit. HNIC, they was like 4 for 4. They just all smashing.
And just think about this too. I think so, but think about this too. Keep It Thorough is, for me, is the song that legitimately made Prodigy a solo artist. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at post Mobb Deep, Keep It Thorough was a street banger.
That's a great point.
And it kind of was a shot at Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying, about record sales and all that shit like that.
And it was on Clue's compilation that Jay-Z put out.
Yeah, so I think that was the joint that kind of made P a solo star. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
man.
So
I mean, that's crazy. Come on, man, like it's too much.
Yeah. So the moral is for people watching, Alchemist, one of the GOATs. You know what I mean? Definitely, if you don't know about him, you've got all the information right here, where to start, different projects. I think the dope thing is everybody kind of gave a different project. Some of us, of course, had the same joints, but then some of us said different things. I think that itself is a testament to talk about how dope Alchemist is. Because usually with a salute show, you may be saying the same albums, but because he has so much music that's out, I feel like there's something for everybody. Like Boldy James really isn't my cup of tea. I don't think he's whack. You know what I mean? I like some Boldy songs. I actually really fuck with my first Chemistry set, but it's really not my cup of tea. But I know people who love Boldy. Who love Boldy. You know what I mean? And again, like Action Bronson, Rock Marcy, Freddie Gibbs, Currency, all of Griselda. The man has found his way through, like you said, Easy, and I know it's one of Vegas' favorite songs, Rubber Bands and Weight. Like that's just the banger. Like somebody may say that about Benny, like, well, Benny don't really have that song. And what would that song probably be? Rubber Bands and Weight. You know what I mean? So it's like Alchemist is even still giving those artists who may not have that big song their big song. Now it's not going to be as big as Keep It Thorough because we don't have Flex dropping bombs on it. But I feel like if Rubber Bands and Weight came out back in the 2003s and 4s when Flex was dropping bombs, that would have been getting bombs dropped on it. Like, yo, this is crazy right here.
You know what song deserves a mention that we haven't mentioned this show is Mobb Deep, Got It Twisted.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned that the whole show. But can I say what? Can I ask a question about Prodigy, Kill and Vague? Tone, I know you in the South, a little further south, but is it fair to say that Prodigy made the East Coast love Alchemist? Like he's like, you can't say solely responsible because all the work he did after, he kind of brought him over here and was like, yo.
I mean, I definitely think it was the cosign. You know, I definitely, so to answer your question, I can say yes. Because like I said, from what I understand, after the Muggs compilation, I forgot what the name of that was, but I think it came out like 96.
Soul Assassins.
Soul Assassins, right. Thank you. When that came out, 96, 97, that's the first time they meet. Alchemist kind of moves to New York. P is kind of co-signing this dude. I remember P saying something like, yo, we thought this nigga Alchemist was the feds for a while. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we had to bring him out to Queensbridge and like, you know what I mean? So I definitely think P was the one who's kind of like, yo, fuck with Al and everything like that. And then I think, I can't say when the masses got put on the Al, but, you know, I mean, I know we all said The Realest, but which is a Mobb Deep song. So, I mean, to some extent, that kind of, you know, makes your theory that much stronger. But I definitely think it was the cosign, because at that time, I know for me, looking in, it was just like, damn, you letting another nigga cook for your group? Like, I ain't never seen that before. Like, imagine Pete Rock and CL Smooth and Pete letting another producer produce like 3 or 4 tracks on it. It was kind of, you'd be like, word? Like, damn, this nigga must, kind of like with Dilla. When Dilla started producing for Tribe, it was like, damn, who is Jay Dilla? Like, damn, Q-Tip, like, giving up.
So we did kind of see it before then.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it was kind of like, oh shit, like, who's this boy? I remember getting a Vibe article and seeing it was like Q-Tip, Ali, and Dilla, and I'm like, wait a second, that ain't Fife. Like, fuck is this? And then they explaining what the Uma was and everything. So, to your point, I could see that. Like, and again, because a lot of these verses, when I think of like when I think about some of my favorite P verses, a lot of them come from Alchemist joints. Of course, the Mobb Deep, of course, the Shook ones and all that. Don't ever get that twisted. But just sitting here, like, I can't stop saying either Keep It Thorough in my head during this whole show, or, you know, Hold You Down. There's so many, you know. I throw a TV at you crazy? Like, come on. Like,
what about when he say federal no fetish on Win or Lose? Come on, baby. That's my shit, man.
Yeah. I don't know, Tom, what do you think? Tom, what do you think?
But, you know, even down here in North Carolina and all that, it was the Mobb Deep affiliation. You know what I'm saying? Especially the Realest, and then hearing all the other joints after that, him and P. So I would say Prodigy, the reason why a lot of us down here, you know, rock with the Alchemist. So everybody didn't know about him down here from his early work on the West Coast and with Muggs and all that stuff like that, and Dolly and Dafari and all that. Most people, I knew some of that because I'm just all ingrained in it, but the average cat didn't know that until Mobb Deep. You know what I'm saying? Oh, quick question though. Did Alchemist do 97 holes for Benny?
He did the second part.
The second part. Okay.
Yeah, the second part. Derringer did the first part, and then when he starts off with that, he say, man, the red dot flashing like I got an unread email in it.
Yeah.
They tried their best to stop us. We still win it. That part, that's the one Alchemist did. So that's a banger too, man.
Yeah.
Man.
It's a banger. Veg, what about you? You think P is kind of responsible for putting Alchemist on? Veg may be out.
I would say
Veg may be breaking up.
I remember I said on the East Coast, so that's what I said.
On the East Coast, yeah, on the East Coast.
To the Wi-Fi. You hear me?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay. I would say Mobb Deep more than just Prodigy. Honestly, you know, being from New York, we ain't really talk all that East Coast shit. Like, we really only care about boroughs. You know what I'm saying? We in competition with each other. But to your point, you know, when you discover new groups and artists, like, you know, like you said, like Alchemist, and like other artists, like Dilla, you know, there is that cosign, and I think for me it was more so oh, who's this dude producing on Mobb Deep's album? Man, he must be a part of the team, kind of thing. So I felt like Mobb Deep co-signed him by, especially letting him produce on the album when I'm thinking Havoc's doing all of it. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, it did help. But I will say this, and this was kind of where I was going before I dipped out a little bit with the top 10 all time. For me personally, it's not necessarily about affinity for producers of the past. It's more about impact. And just some of these producers from the past had bigger impact than Alchemist. I don't care how long he's been making beats. To Easy's point, it's exactly like Tupac. Tupac is a great artist, but you're not really going to put him in a gauntlet of straight up battling, because that's not really what he does. He's a great songwriter, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's why he falls in people's top 10s and stuff like that. Whereas with Alchemist, we know a lot of the production, but most people don't know that he did one of Jadakiss' most famous songs was, you know, We Gonna Make It. Most people don't even know who did the beat, you know what I'm saying? So he's not necessarily a household name for his production. I think because we know the ins and out of what he's done across, you know, a span of years, and we know all the artists, regardless of status, we were a little bit higher. But when you start to put them up against the Dr. Dre's and the RZAs, their impact get the head, they get the household, they may get some of the grandmas, they get everybody. And I think what Alchemist, I think the more he continues to do this, he starts to creep into that notoriety side. But I think for me as a hip hop head, hearing him on that Mobb Deep album was kind of like, damn, who this white dude? He crazy. I thought that was Havoc who did the beat. So yeah, I think they definitely co-signed him and got him at least in the view of most hip hop heads, especially in New York.
Yeah. I mean, again, man, the resume is crazy. You know what I mean? And again, I know that there are people out there who had no idea. And it happens a lot with Dilla. You know what I mean? When we did the Dilla show, or if I send out one of my Dilla mixtapes, there's a lot of people be like, damn, I didn't know Dilla did that. Or I didn't know Dilla did Common's Delight. I didn't know Dilla. You know what I mean? So you have a lot of people who don't know Dilla did a lot of stuff. Or because he was under the Ummah, it was a lot of stuff that people call Q-Tip did that really Dilla did. You know what I mean? So kind of similar, both two things, because both two producers, neither one of them are from New York. Both of them got co-signed by a huge hip hop group. You know what I mean? And there could be some confusion. And I think to Veg's point, the average person don't know who made We Gonna Make It. Like, they don't. You know what I mean? So I think that's it. But at the end of the day, man, like I said, for me, post 2000, Al is my number one. Like, you know, again, it's just what my ear likes. Again, a lot of these projects people may not know, but I can sit here and name all 4 or 5 of these joints that like I literally love. And then again, like I said, then he's giving some of the biggest groups their biggest songs. You know, whether it be Benny, whether it be West Side Gun, I don't think Boldy James is Boldy James without Alchemist's co-sign. You know, so now he's at that point where, like you said, Easy, P had to co-sign Alchemist. Now Alchemist is at a place where he can co-sign other people and put them on. You know what I mean? Because thinking of Pete and Premier, the only time I can ever recall Pete and Premier producing for a group I didn't know was All City. I was at 889. I got the 12-inch in the mail. And I'm like, yo, who the fuck is All City? I turn it over. Produced by Premier, produced by Pete Rock. Or I don't know who the fuck they are, but we playing this shit.
Oh, I like this.
I had the single.
Yeah, so that's the only time I can remember Pete and Premier producing for a group that I had never heard of before. Yeah. You know what I mean? Usually they're producing for people who we've heard of, or you heard through the Gangstar Foundation, or I or D-Dot Baby Paw, somebody like that.
Bumpy Knuckles. Yeah,
Bumpy Knuckles. But with Al, like that All City blip on the radar for Pete and Premier is like Al's whole career. You know, who's this Boldy James? Oh, I don't know, but Alchemist did it. I'm in. Who's this Action Bronson dude? Oh, I don't know, but you know, Alchemist did it. I'm listening to it.
Well, I feel like a lot of it had to do with, you know, the majority of Alchemist. He's underground heavy.
Right.
Heavy in the underground. That's why he's culturally loved and accepted it. Because and that's why like even with Premier and Pete Rock, like they underground sound too, but they just kind of like rub shoulders with more major guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Premier was Premier got fucking songs with Janet Jackson, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, we're just out.
And Christina Aguilera.
Now tell me this. Now tell me this real quick. What do you think? Because right now in hip hop, where we're at in 2024, for heads. Now, because I don't even know if the masses even get hip hop anymore. Back in the day, we could say, oh, it got played on Flex, or it got played on such and such show. It's getting love to the masses. Is Griselda underground right now?
Yeah.
They're still underground?
Well, hold on. Isn't Benny on Def Jam?
And I mean, not even from like a major label standpoint, but I'm just trying to think, well, who's above ground now? Back in the 90s.
I look at it until they catch that record. That's how I always kind of look at it.
No,
But here's the thing, can you catch that record in 2024? Like, that's the question. Like, MOP caught that record with Annie Up in 2000. Like, that was the thing. Like, you were still able to catch that record in 98, 99. Like, in 2024, how do you catch that record? It's not Flex dropping bombs on it, because that used to be it. On some Brown Sugar shit, it was like, if we could just get our shit played on Hot 97, we good. Like, I don't even know, how do you catch a record in 2024 right now?
Yes, that's a good fucking question, man.
Beg, what you gonna say?
Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, it's a little echo, but you good.
Yeah, it's the room. I think you can. I just don't know if they would, like Griselda, because I think what they do, their formula is so entrenched in the underground and a specific East Coast kind of sound that I don't know if they would ever make a record that would, break out of that, even if they weren't trying. They've tried to, I'm a rapper with a trap beat, I'm gonna change my flow kind of thing, but none of those ever took off. Now, the only thing that makes me think it's possible for some.
I was gonna ask you, how do you think, like you said, maybe not Griselda, but how would fill in the blank? How do you catch that song nowadays? Like, what does that look like?
Well, to your point, like Andy Up wasn't even about catching a song. It just did something to people that made the blanket.
Yes. Right.
We have a great example right now, Not Like Us. This is a diss record. And the nigga's being accused of being a pedophile. And it's a fucking anthem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
it don't make no sense. But
right. There's no way when I heard Not Like Us, I didn't even like it. I was like, I like Meet the Grams better. Like, and then just Not Like Us just.
I never liked Not Like Us.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think if more people knew, like, because We Gonna Make It is probably the most recognizable joint, especially after the verses.
Right.
People just being exposed to it in a different way. And again, I think when people found out he made Meet the Grams, and I think they just connecting the dots with Alchemist to say, oh, he's that, like the same guy on the cooking show did Meet the Grams beat, and you know what I'm saying? So
right.
I think as long as he keep putting up numbers, maybe he can,
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, maybe, and again, I just don't know what that looked like, because like I said, back in the day, if we were back at Strictly Hip Hop and we put out a project, it'd be like, yo, we could just get our joint, we could get Flex to play it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what that is right now. Like, as an artist, what in 2024, what would you be wishing for? Like, to even get that right? Like, I understand what you're saying, like, with MOP. Like, I felt like when they tried to do the Rocky beat with Jay-Z, they were trying to get airplay. It's like, oh, we're going to just sample Rocky, we're going to get Jay-Z on it, it's going to blow the fuck up. It did crickets. Then you make a song about robbing niggas, and I'm sure they had...
I'll tell you a story about that when we get off air.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to that off air though.
All right. But then you make a song about robbing niggas, and I know in the studio they probably wasn't like, yo, this is gonna be the shit that wrestlers are gonna come into the ring in 20 years later. And then it just, for some reason, it just popped off to the point that when you pop in the MOP Warrior CD, you got Flex on the beginning of it. Like, I can't even just play Annie Up without listening to, I gotta hear Flex. So it's kind of like you kind of had that goal, but I just don't even know, like, does J. Cole have that record. Like when we talk about a We Gonna Make It and a Keep It Thorough, like does J. Cole have like this?
His core fans, yeah, he got a few of them.
But not his core fans, like just me. I'm a hip hop head and I don't know what that song would be. I can't sit here and tell you, oh, this is J. Cole's biggest song. I have no fucking idea. So even a person like J. Cole doesn't have it for a hip hop head for us to all sit around and agree and say, oh, it's such and such. I have no idea what his biggest song would be, but the nigga can sell out arenas. I don't know how the fuck he does it. Like, so I don't even know how you get that song now. What were you gonna say, Tom?
He got a huge fan base. You know, I'm in no.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you do that dream deal,
but the crazy part is that you have a huge fan base, and you can say that is their biggest song. We can sit here and say that is Mobb Deep's biggest song is probably either fucking, of course, Shook Ones or Quiet Storm, or you could say MOP's biggest song is Annie Up, and this person's biggest song is this.
What's Drake's biggest song? What's Drake's biggest song?
I think it's just so many. I mean, it could have started with...
It's like a fucking 20-way tie.
Yeah, it could be Over. I remember when Over came out, that was everywhere. When that shit... Like, I feel like every single off of every album is his biggest song until the next big single comes out. Yeah. Whereas with Cole, I can't say that. I don't know.
What about Kendrick? Would it be DNA or...
I would think it was that shit. I think really when it was that Black Lives Matter, that was like the anthem. You know what I mean?
It's not like us, bro.
I mean, yeah. Now, I mean, of course. But I'm just talking about like before that, like just off of his albums, and I think it goes back to what Vegas' point is. This was a diss track. This isn't an album track. This wasn't a single. I'm positive Kendrick did not think, or maybe he did. Yo, I'm gonna be at the Staples Center.
The beat.
We gonna do encore like 8 times.
It was going for the energy.
Right. So maybe he did. But I think to Vegas' point, this ain't a single. This ain't on your album. It's a fucking diss song. But I'm sure I'm positive Kendrick wasn't like HBCU bands are gonna be playing this shit during homecoming. I'm sure he didn't go that far. It's like this is gonna be the shit, y'all. But I watch y'all. We gonna be having every HBCU band on the East Coast gonna be playing this song. Like I'm sure he didn't know it was gonna go that far. And maybe it goes that far just because at that time everybody was so invested into that beef. I remember that weekend when it dropped. It was like Friday he dropped, Saturday Drake dropped, then Saturday morning somebody else dropped, and it was just. Like I think that Not Like Us song was just like the bomb, the atom bomb to this war that had just been.
It was because Meet the Grams came like an hour after Family Matters.
Right, like that was the thing. Like that week, Friday night and like Sunday morning, like 5 diss songs came out between both of them things, and then Not Like Us was just the atomic bomb that just blew up everything.
That shit was one of the greatest weekends I remember fucking battling, man. That shit was insane to me.
Yo, I would wake up to Twitter. I'm like, God damn, another song? Like, yo,
that shit was unbelievable when you think about it. 2 niggas at their apex of their career doing that shit. That shit don't. That's like Nas and Jay-Z battling the whole weekend.
Right, like non-stop.
Yeah.
It's really dope to see. To kind of get back, it's really dope to see Alchemist have his hands on that though.
In that,
yeah, he's part of it. He's part of history.
That's really dope.
And the funny part is, I don't know if you peeped it, but Al was on something and he was talking about how Keep It Thorough is just like Meet the Grams. Like when you like the way he was kind of playing it out with all of that. So YouTube it, I forgot where I saw it, but he was like, "Yo, I was kind of in my Keep It Thorough bag when I made."
You know what, too? When Alchemist made that beat, when you go back and listen to the instrumental of Meet the Grams, this some old horror movie shit, man.
It's
like,
dark.
Man? Like, when it's dark, and you listen to how Kendrick rhymed over it, the type of shit he was. I mean, the first verse talking to his damn son, I'm like, don't do him like that, bro. Like, that's just...
Al was...
Yeah. Al has been in his bag, and like I said, there's probably so much more to come because he sent that beat to to Kendrick, and it was just sitting around. He had no idea it was going to pop up like that. So I'm sure there's so many people big name people. So it's not just these underground people, but like big name artists who fuck with Al just as much as a Boldy does. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Al on Kendrick's next album. That Cry Together shit is one of my favorite. That's Nate's favorite song off that last Kendrick album.
Yeah, but he got one on Damn too, right? Alchemist?
Yeah. Alchemist got one on Damn too. Yeah. So there's definitely a connection.
Fear, right? Is it called Fear?
Fear. Yeah, he did Fear.
What?
He did fit.
That shit's heavy.
And again, like I said, he had an album on Jay Electronica's album, the one with him and Jay-Z.
You mean Jay-Z album?
Well, Jay's album, yeah, Jay's album. You know, but he had a lot of people don't know he produced on that album. You know, so
hey man, listen, I feel like really like for Alchemist legacy, he really needs to catch that Jay-Z record, man. I'm not saying it's gonna make or break it, but I know Al wants that and he deserves that shit, bro.
Yeah,
like he deserves it. Like, you know, yeah, Jay-Z rapped on the Electronica song, but who cares, right? Like,
he needs
anybody
that.
Listen to that shit still? Keep it real.
Me and Ev are the only two human beings on the world, and Jay Electronica. I don't think Jay Electronica. I like me and Ev are like the two people who like the album. And Ev likes it even so much more than me that we ended up arguing one night in LA for like 4 fucking hours about that album. Because he likes it that much more than me. I think it's a great album. He thinks it's a classic, and we just was arguing for hours over that.
I do think it's a great album, but it's just like just not memorable like that.
Right. And but that's what I mean. It's not memorable enough for even somebody to even read the credits to see that Alchemist did a joint on there. So I'm not even mad at nobody.
I really feel like Al needs to, you know, do that, because, you know, he did the if I'm not mistaken, let me the Dre joint with Nipsey.
He did a joint when Dre put out that joint. It was like
GTA
joint. Yeah, he did the joint with Nipsey. Like, he co-produced that joint. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And that's a big deal. Like, you know.
Yeah. But again, I think the thing that'll hurt Al is that we don't have physical copies anymore. So there's no way to, like, now at the point when stuff comes out, I have to go to Genius to just, because Genius will have who produced each track. Like, I don't know where else to go to find out. So that's the other problem, that from 2011 on, there's a lot of stuff that people won't even know Al did, because people aren't buying physical copies to pop open the tape or the cassette to even pull out the liner notes to read. And then even sometimes, even if you get the physical copy, I mean, y'all know I was heavy on my Griselda shit, so I'm sitting here like with all the Conways, I would go to every Conway show just to get the CD. There really ain't no credits in here. Oh, they are. Sometimes there's some liner notes, but I mean, it's stuff like, you know, produced by Jay Swift, but a lot of people aren't gonna really. I would be at the shows like, yo, I gotta get me the CD. So even with a lot of physicals, there's no liner notes in them for people to even know what was done. But with Dope Show, everybody, I think y'all should, you know, if you don't know about Al, you learned a lot. Even if you know about Al, you can't sit here and say you didn't know. You didn't find out a new song. I got a couple of songs I can't wait to get onto. There's Fat Joe, you saw the Mechanics joint, the Hey Your Doggy Style joint. So there's some joints I got to tap into.
Infamous Mob special edition.
Infamous Mob, I got that too. Infamous Mob. Easy. Tell them what's good with you, where they could get at you, where they could get the music, all that good stuff, bro.
I'm at Easy Money ST everywhere. You know, you can stream all my shit everywhere. Yeah.
You got some new joints?
Nah, not yet. I've been asleep, bro. To be honest, you know what I mean, I've been on some bullshit. But I'm gonna link you to a couple joints that I think you'd appreciate.
Do that, man. I'll be glad to share it too, man.
Where do you stream your music, Tone?
Wherever. You mean like links?
Like you got Apple, or do you got Tidal? Like,
I'm sorry, I got Apple.
Okay, yeah. I get you the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm at Easy Money SC everywhere. You could stream my shit everywhere. You just gotta put Easy Money with the $sign and Easy.
And again, very dope singer, very dope MC. Does both very well. Has an R&B album just with him singing. So you know, definitely tap in. Yeah. You got an R&B album, bro.
I'll send it to you, Tone. It's just a 4-song EP.
That's all good, bro.
Yeah,
he does it both. Veg, let's talk about Best Style Vintage, brother.
I'm gonna sing too. You know what I'm
saying? You got the room right. You got the echo now. You got the right room that you in, man.
Hell no, I'm not. Only in the car in the shower. That's it. That's it. Me. Nah, so me and Kill got the album out right now. Best Style Vintage, the album. It's a culmination of 30 years of rapping for myself. We just took an approach of straight up boom bap on this. So Even though it's not a lot of concepts, there are concepts. Like, for example, we got a song called Traffic Shit, where I basically treat the 6 projects that we made as if it's product, you know what I'm saying? Contraband that we put out on the street, you know, play around with some metaphors and stuff like that. Features Rel on the album on a song called Total Package. Also my homie Woods on another joint. It's available at VegasWorldINC.bandcamp.com, but also available on Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, all that good stuff. And if all of that was a lot of information, just follow me on social media. The tag is on every platform, Vegas World INC, and you know, all the links to everything I do is there. So good look.
All right, no doubt. Tone, where can I get at you, good brother?
You know, I'm one of the Twitter villains, man. So just enter the Dome on Twitter, man. All the links to everything, the Dome podcast on YouTube and anything else I'm doing, the website where I still write every now and then, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm on that, man. Y'all look me up. IG right now. I'm locked out. I can't even get in my IG because I forgot my password. So
Damn,
I ain't been on IG about damn 5 months, but you know, at some point I'll get back on that. They're not letting me in. But yeah, I don't care. But yeah, just follow me on Twitter, man. Check me out.
And like I said, me and Tone are kindred spirits on Twitter, you know, with this shit we get. But I always tell people, if you choose to hang out every day in a crack house, you cannot be mad when crackheads talk to you every now and then. You know, we are making a conscious effort of going. And this is a true story. My man called me once, this back maybe 94, just before I had the ASR 10. And my man was like, yo, my man got a ASR 10. I was like, word? He's like, yeah. I was like, yo, can I come through and fuck with you? He's like, yeah. Yo, shit was in the crack house, man. Like, and I did not give a fuck. I did not care. Because I was like, at that point in time, I was like, I don't give a, I will go to a crack house. I don't care where I'm at. And we are in the basement of a crack house fucking with an ASR 10. And there are crackheads in there. And again, if you choose to hang out in a crack house, a crackhead is going to talk to you. The crackhead is not going to ignore you. They're going to be like, hey, what's that? What's that you pressing over here? They're going to ask questions. Okay?
Cracking shit gonna happen.
Yeah, crack. So if we choose to wake up every day and log into Twitter, then guess what? Every now and then a crackhead is going to want to talk to you. You already know this with me, Kill 889 Twitter, IG. Got the Vague project out. Got Rel's project out. It's Not You, It's Me. Working on Back with Sweetie's album right now. We just shot the video 2 weeks ago. We're hoping to premiere it this week. Gadget should be done with it. We got the feature from Tajay from Souls of Mischief. He actually flew out from tour, came out to DC, shot the video with us, flew right back to Oakland the next day, jumped back on the tour. So that was love. So, you know, just trying to make it happen, trying to finish some stuff up with Easy Money. He got the mic in the background. So prayerfully something like that's about to pop off coming up. But yeah, we gonna rock with y'all. I'm gonna check y'all next week, good peoples.
I know you don't love me, and there may be someone else. And as I sit alone here at home, knowing what I should do, I find I can't stay away from you.